Page 1. Welcome, friend, to a moment of reflection. Have you ever paused long enough to ask yourself, what do I actually value? Because knowing this, truly knowing, it gives you power. It helps you ignore what doesn't matter and focus entirely on what does. It's one of those truths that sounds simple but changes everything. We often chase answers in life, but have you noticed? It's the questions that really change us. Think about this. A single question at the right moment can totally shift the direction of your life. That's what we're here to explore today. 12 questions, drawn from ancient Stoic wisdom, refined through centuries. Questions used by philosophers, warriors, thinkers, leaders, and now shared with you. The heart of our conversations is always the same. How can ancient wisdom help us lead better modern lives? So today, let's start with question 1. Who are you spending time with? Think of this as a mirror. Gertrude Stein once said, "Show me who you spend time with, and I will tell you who you are." Seneca urges us to spend time with people who make us better. My father said it bluntly, "You become like your friends." Look around. Who are you reading? Who are you texting? Who do you see after work? These people shape you. They can push you closer to your goals or drag you away. This question often leads to hard decisions. Less time with some, more with others. But it's necessary, because our relationships aren't neutral. They either sharpen us or dull us, make us stronger or weaker. Is this in my control? Epictetus called this the chief task of the philosopher. Imagine how much time you waste worrying about things you can't change. It starts raining. You can't control that, but you can decide whether to get wet or grab an umbrella. You can't control other people's words or actions, but you can control your own. When you ask this question about everything you feel or plan, you become powerful. You stop throwing energy at walls that won't move. You reclaim your focus. What does your ideal day look like? Seneca said, "A life is made up of days." Annie Dillard added, "How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives." If you can't describe your ideal day, you're drifting, chasing fame, money, influence without purpose. For me, it's simple. Waking early, working out, writing, time with family, nature, presence when opportunities come. I ask, does this get me closer or further from that? It's a test every single day. Page 2. Let's keep going. Diving deeper. To be or to do? This question comes from John Boyd, the brilliant military strategist. He told his students, there are 2 paths. You can choose to look important, seek rank, crave the spotlight, or you can choose to quietly get things done. Truman once said, "It's amazing what you can accomplish if you don't care who gets the credit." Ask yourself, am I chasing titles or making real impact? Am I trying to be important or do important things? Because in the end, it changes everything about how you live. How are you measuring your life? Hillel asked, if I am not for me, who is? If I am only for me, who am I? You have to fight for yourself, yes. But if that's all you care about, what kind of person are you? Look at George Marshall. He turned down command at Normandy because he knew personal ego didn't matter. The mission did. That's real selflessness, true leadership. Ask yourself, what's motivating you? Is it the accolades or the difference you make? What am I missing by choosing to worry or be afraid? One of my favorite ideas comes from Gavin de Becker's The Gift of Fear. When you worry, ask yourself, what am I choosing not to see right now? Worry isn't free. It costs you time, energy, awareness. Being afraid blinds you to opportunity. So challenge it, name it. Don't let it steal your vision. Are you doing your job? Sean Payton once hung a giant banner in the Saints facility. Do your job. This idea goes back to Bill Belichick. Every player, every coach, every moment do your. Life is like that too. We often focus on everyone else's role, critiquing, gossiping, judging instead. Ask, am I doing my job? If not, why not? If yes, keep going. Page 3. Let's keep this honest. What is the most important thing to you? If you don't know what matters most, how can you put it first? If you said I could sell 10 times as many books, but it would cost my marriage or my kids, I'd say no thanks. Work is important, but it's not the most important. Seneca called this euthymia, knowing your path, not being distracted by others who are lost when you know what you value. Ignoring the noise becomes easy. Who is this for? As a creator, as a friend, as a parent, you must know. Who are you doing this for? Too many people just hope their work finds someone. Empathy matters. When you make something, ask, who is this for? It changes everything about how you approach it. Does this actually matter? Marcus Aurelius said, ask yourself at every moment, is this essential? We waste so much time on the inessential. Eliminate it. Stephen Colbert's mother once asked him after their family tragedy, can you look at this in the light of eternity? What really matters? People, love, integrity, effort, everything else? Will this be alive time or dead time? Robert Greene asked me this when I was deciding to become a writer. Will this be a live time where you grow, build, act, or dead time where you sit, wait, stagnate? Seneca said, life isn't short. We just waste it, so choose wisely. Is this who I want to be? Every action is a vote for the person you're becoming. Ask, is this in line with my values? If not, don't do it. And finally, what is life asking of you? Viktor Frankl flipped the question. We ask for meaning, but life is asking us for meaning. Your answer isn't in what you say, it's in what you do. So far, we've asked hard questions, held up mirrors to our choices. Now let's go further. On page 4, we'll see how these questions can transform daily life, making Stoic philosophy not just something you admire, but something you live. Get ready, because the real work starts here. Page 4, choosing what matters. Questions to clarify your priorities. Last time, we asked tough questions about responsibility and purpose. Are you doing your job? What truly matters to you? Who is this for? These questions make us pause. They make us honest. But now, let's go even deeper. Because if we don't know what's essential, we'll spend our lives on what isn't. And the Stoics refuse to waste their days on the unimportant. Does this actually matter? Marcus Aurelius wrote, ask yourself at every moment, is this essential? Most of what we get angry about, hold on to, or obsess over doesn't matter at all. We carry grudges. We replay slights. We worry about things no one else will even remember next week. This question is the knife that cuts through all that noise. Does this matter? Truly? In the light of eternity? Is this worth your time, your energy, your peace? Stephen Colbert talked about losing his father and siblings in a crash. He said his mother taught him to ask, "Can you see this in the light of eternity?" Because in crisis, we realize how little most things really matter. The Stoics practice this clarity every day. So the next time you're fuming over an insult, stuck on a failure, anxious about a minor inconvenience, ask yourself, does this actually matter? This question doesn't erase pain, but it puts it in perspective. And perspective is freedom. Will this be a live time or dead time? This question comes from Robert Greene. Greene asked him, will this be a live time or dead time? Meaning, will you use this time to grow, learn, build? Or will you let it pass in waiting, in distraction, in numbness? The Stoics believed time was our most precious resource. Seneca wrote that life isn't short, it's just that we waste so much of it. We kill time as time is killing us. Every moment is an opportunity to choose. A live time means making something of it. Even in lockdown, even in crisis, even in grief. It doesn't mean constant hustle. It can be rest, learning, connection, reflection, but it's chosen, intentional. Dead time is waiting passively, checking out, letting life slip by without living it. So ask yourself today, will this be a live time or dead time? What can I do to make this moment count? Is this who I want to be? This question is perhaps the hardest because it demands honesty about our choices, even the small ones. Is this who I want to be? When you speak sharply to someone, is that who you want to be? When you give in to fear, when you take the easy road, when you act from ego, are you being the person you imagine yourself as? How you do anything is how you do everything. Each action is a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. It's blunt. It's true. The Stoics knew this. Character isn't built in grand gestures, but in small, repeated choices. They ask themselves daily, does this action align with my values? Does this represent who I want to be remembered as? It doesn't mean perfection. It means awareness and the courage to change when you fall short. Because in the end, you're the one who has to live with yourself. So ask it often. Is this who I want to be? Bringing it all together, these questions aren't comfortable. They're not meant to be. They're meant to wake us up, to strip away excuses, to force us to choose. Because life will offer you endless distractions, opportunities to avoid the hard questions. But the Stoics believed real freedom is in facing them. When you know what matters, you can let go of what doesn't. When you know who you want to be, you can stop trying to please everyone else. These questions are a compass. They don't give easy answers. They give direction. They give you back your power. Because no one can answer them for you. Only you can choose. So take a breath. Let these questions linger. Because next, in page 5, we'll go even deeper. We'll explore the last questions the Stoics challenged themselves with. Questions about meaning, legacy, and the choices that define a life. If you're ready, let's keep going. Let's finish this journey strong. Page 5, Legacy and Meaning. The final Stoic questions. We've walked through questions about control, about time, about character. We've asked what truly matters. But at the end of the road, there are deeper questions still. Questions that are about meaning itself, about how you will be remembered, about the mark you choose to leave on the world. Because the Stoics didn't just want to live, they wanted to live well. And they believed that meant thinking not just about today, but about the sum of all your days. 7. What is the most important thing to you if you don't know what's important? You can't put it first. So much of life's stress comes from chasing conflicting priorities, from saying yes to things that don't align with what matters most. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you seek tranquility, do less, or do what's essential." Seneca called it euthymia, the sense of knowing your path, not getting distracted by the paths of others, not comparing yourself to people who are lost, but walking your own road deliberately. So ask yourself, what is the most important thing to you? If you had to choose between success and your family, what would you pick? Between comfort and integrity, what matters more? If you know the answer, you can steer by it. If you don't, you're at the mercy of every temptation and distraction that comes along. So clarify it, write it down. Let it guide your choices. 8. Who is this fourth Stoics cared about intention? About purpose. Who is this for? Ryan Holiday says it's the question every creator must ask. Are you doing it for applause or for impact? For your ego or for others? It's easy to fool yourself, to pretend you're helping when you're chasing praise. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Know who you're serving, your family, your community, your future self. Don't just create blindly, hoping it will land somewhere. Act with empathy, with awareness of others' needs. Because if you don't know who it's for, you don't know what it's for. When you're clear about who you're serving, you're clear about how to act. 9. Does this actually matter we revisit this? Because it's that important. So much of life's suffering comes from caring about things that don't matter. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. If today was your last, would this problem still matter? Would you spend precious time arguing about it? Would you stay angry? Would you hold on to the grudge?" When you ask, does this actually matter? You filter out the noise. You simplify. You focus on what's essential. It's not about ignoring responsibilities. It's about recognizing priorities. So next time you're stressed, pause and ask, is this truly important? 10. Will this be a live time or dead time? This question can change your days, your years, your life. Robert Greene asked it of Ryan Holiday when he was waiting for a new job. Will this be a live time or dead time? A live time is chosen, intentional. Dead time is waiting, drifting, numbing yourself. Seneca wrote, "It's not that life is short, but that we waste much of it." Ask yourself, am I using this time well? Even hard times can be a live time. Learning, reflecting, building resilience. A live time is taking what life gives you and turning it into growth. Dead time is waiting for life to happen. Which will you choose today? 11. Is this who I want to be? This is one of the hardest questions because it demands honesty. When you speak harshly, is that who you want to be? When you lie to avoid conflict, is that who you want to be? When you choose comfort over courage, is that who you want to be? How you do anything is how you do everything. Every choice is a vote for your future self. Cheryl Strayed says, "You're becoming who you're going to be, so you might as well not be." But true, ask yourself in every situation, is this representative of my values? Is this aligned with the person I want to become? Because you're building that person every single day. 12. What is life asking of you finally? This question from Viktor Frankl. He survived the Holocaust, lost his family, witnessed horrors, and he wrote, "We ask, what is the meaning of life?" But actually, it is life that is asking us that question. Meaning isn't something you discover, it's something you create. Through your choices, your actions, your responses to challenges. So ask yourself, what is life asking of me right now? Patience, courage, forgiveness, strength, service? This question turns suffering into purpose. It transforms hardship into meaning. It's not about avoiding pain, but answering it with dignity, bringing it all together. These 12 questions aren't answers. They're invitations. They're not comfortable, but they're clarifying. They don't give you an easy path. They give you your path. They ask you to be intentional, awake, present. Because the Stoics didn't promise a painless life. They promised a meaningful one. And meaning comes from the questions you ask and the answers you live. So take a moment. Sit with these questions. Write them down. Reflect on them daily. Because this isn't just philosophy. It's practice. It's a way of living with depth, with courage, with peace. If you're ready, let's take this journey together. Subscribe for more Stoic wisdom. Share this with someone who needs it. And remember, stay grounded, stay grateful, stay stoic.